more optimistic, forward looking a little bit. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Set this 50 minutes.
Be over before we know it.
Yeah. Okay. Hi.
Hey.
So I wanted to check in because I know last week we had kind of a deep session. What's been going on since then?
Yeah. Trying to think of the time here. I think last week's session was helpful just to kind of process some of the stuff. My ex-girlfriend, I guess. And so I don't know, like I still like was kind of feeling some of the same stuff, just maybe like a little less intensely.
Okay.
And then work's been going pretty well too. Like I know we talked about that lunch I went on. I feel like that was kind of a good step, like in terms of like just forming more like of a friendship with some of my coworkers and feeling like a little more comfortable, just like being myself.
Okay.
But then I was on Facebook and there's this girl from my hometown. She was like a year older than me in school. And she, I guess, just moved out to Denver, and she posted something like, "Hey, if anybody lives in Colorado, like, you have any ideas, or if you've been here, like, for stuff to do, like, I just moved here." So I messaged her and was like, "Hey, I live in Fort Collins, and you know, it'd be like good to get together sometime or whatever." So I think we're gonna like go for a hike or something sometime this week, which is like exciting and terrifying all at the same time. So yeah, like I think it's good. Like it's kind of like the first thing I've been excited about for quite a while. I feel a little weird, like so like have some feelings for Amy, and so I don't know like if it's the right timing or not.
Yeah.
It's not that like we're going on a date or anything, like it's just friends, but like, you know, like maybe there's something there.
Something new.
Yeah.
So you mentioned about Amy, you're feeling those feelings but not as deeply. Can you tell me like a little bit more about that?
Yeah.
Like, are they still present for you?
I mean, it's still, yeah, I mean, they're still there, like, I think I like am realizing more and more like it probably just like was not a good long-term fit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I still miss her. I think the weirdest thing is to think of us like dating other people, right? Like her going about her life like without me for the first time in 3 years, and like same thing for me. I don't know, like I think that will be hard, like initially, like when she starts dating somebody else. But like this other girl, Hannah, I feel like that kind of has made me feel a little bit better too, because like I think a lot of the negative feelings or like the sadness and anxiety I was feeling was centered around like I don't know if I'm ever gonna be able to like find anybody else again, right?
Right.
And I'm not saying that like Hannah and I are gonna like date or anything like that, but like, I guess it's just like a reminder that you know there are other people out there.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
yeah.
I'm really happy for you that first off things at work are going better, and that now you have kind of a piece from your past. Did you know her well, like originally?
No, yeah, so it's kind of weird. Like, she was just a year older than me. I was like friends with some of the girls in that grade, but she was kind of like in a different group. And so like we're just kind of acquaintances. Our parents actually know each other better than like we know each other. But anyway, so like we know of each other, and like I mean I'm sure we crossed paths a few times, but like nothing super in depth.
Yeah.
In the past,
Yeah.
so.
But still, that's like just super exciting that you. I can even see like you just seem more like hopeful and like upbeat, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm really happy about that.
Yeah.
Tell me more like about your situation at work. Like what's been going good there.
Yeah. Like I said, I think I just like after that lunch, it kind of I don't know, just reminded me or showed me like we're all just like normal people working together, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like my coworkers like were a little more open like during that, and like have been towards me a little bit since then. And so I don't know. I guess I just like I haven't been like hyper over analyzing like everything that I do and like afraid of like doing something wrong or appearing unprofessional or anything like that. Like I don't know, I'm kind of like I feel like generally my default is to be kind of like a goofy person, and I feel like I've incorporated a little bit more of that self into work instead of just always being like robotic. Like I am the perfect analyst. You know? Like I never mess up and never have emotions. So yeah, that's been kind of good, and I feel like I'm kind of getting just into a flow, and I think I talked about this a little bit last time, but like when Amy and I broke up, like I didn't really care as much like what happened at work because like other things were on my mind, you know.
Right.
And in some ways that was kind of a good thing. Like it just showed me like I can still be like productive and perform well and without like just constantly kind of being worried about messing up or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just kind of like a new perspective for me. So yeah,
That's
I
really
feel
cool.
like things have been going pretty well.
Good.
Yeah.
Would you say that like even though in that present moment when everything was happening with Amy and you were feeling like such like stuck in a hole, like kind of looking back now, are you like how does it make you feel to look back on that now and see where your present like mindset and feelings are?
Yeah, that's a good question. Surprised.
Yeah.
I don't know, like it's kind of crazy how quickly things can change. And like I'm not like amazing right now, right? Like I still feel like I'm struggling a little bit, but like I feel way better right now than I would have expected to right now, and like better. I wasn't even sure like it was possible to feel like this again. You know what I mean? Like, because everything had just been so negative for so long, and like every development was like discouraging, and now there's been like a couple of encouraging developments, and um, yeah, I guess it's just like it's giving me some hope, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about what you're still struggling with.
Um, you know, I still like want to, like the stuff at work hasn't disappeared completely. Like I still feel like some pressure and some anxiety. I think some of that is just like dissipating kind of like with time, you know, like as a function of time. But I think there are still some things that like, you know, I would kind of want to work on for when like things are really stressful or there's a lot of pressure or when I do make a really big mistake, like not kind of like crashing in on myself, you know what I mean? Because I just think there's some more there that like I could I could work on to be like a little better off, you know what I mean? And you know, like I'm gonna hang out with Hannah, but I still wanna like form some new connections and some some more friendships and you know, like have some guy friends too and I think like um, we talked about the volunteering, so I looked into some different things there. I think that's something that I want to do and like that's that's gonna be good and like align with my core values and I know we talked a little bit about like my faith and spirituality or just that like that played a bigger role like further back in my past and I'd be interested in exploring that further. Like I think yeah, kind of finding like that identifying like some more like purpose and meaning um will help me like decide what things to pursue, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And give me some motivation.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So just to make sure what you're still struggling with, kind of
yeah, that was a lot.
That's okay. Anxiety at work.
Yeah, I think so.
And maybe anxiousness about like your purpose here outside of work.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I would say like kind of purpose and meaning in general.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like here in Colorado, or just I mean you said in general, but like
for my life.
Yeah.
It's a big one. Yeah, just like I want like I feel like everything should flow out of like this overarching purpose and meaning, like my work life, my personal life, my relationships, all of that stuff. But I'm still like trying. I don't know like what that is for me right now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then like connections, like new friendships, and then like kind of like giving back in some way. I think with work, it's like it's like on a day to day basis, like things are getting better, and I think that just is gonna kind of improve with time. But like, it's more of like the big events that still kind of like scare me a little bit. Like if I think about them coming in the future, you know, like I think it'd be helpful to explore some ways to like I don't know, be more confident or relaxed or I don't know, like less judgmental of myself with some of those
For sure.
experiences.
Okay. So let's explore some ways
Okay.
to help you feel more confident, not
Okay.
judgmental. When do you feel confident? What makes you feel confident?
I think like repetition or practice or like preparation, right? So when I have time to like prepare for something or time to like really ensure that something is like good quality, um, I feel more confident. Like I know things are good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how can we put that into like a goal? What like goal can you set for yourself to help make you feel more confident?
Maybe like be like leading up to something big, like presenting some big analysis or project or proposal or like submitting something to my boss or whatever. Like I guess like prioritizing that project and spending time like reviewing it and preparing to present it or like making sure that there aren't mistakes and stuff like that. I think that might help. I feel kind of weird about like practicing a presentation with somebody else, but maybe like if I got like comfortable with a friend or something at work, like that's something that I could do and they could give me like some feedback or or I could even have just somebody review my work and give me their thoughts.
That's what I was kind of thinking, is that might be also a way to make a new connection. If you felt comfortable asking someone, hey, can you like review this for me or can I present this for you? Something like that.
Yeah, I think that'd be good. I think too though, like I don't know, I've kind of been thinking about this idea of like I think what we just talked about is good. But at the same time, like I'm going to mess up sometimes and I guess I wanna be like more comfortable with failure. Which I'm super uncomfortable with right now. I think I always have been, and just like there was a lot lower like chance of failure in the past, and like now I don't know, like things are just like things are more challenging, like like as I start my career, and so I mean I want to be confident, but I also want to be like more accepting of myself. Like when I fail, or like with the potential of failure.
Yeah. I heard you mention, that made me think of earlier when you said you were going through everything with Amy, and it kind of made you realize that like you said something like everyone at work, like we're all like human, we're all like here. Tell me more like how you got to that realization, like what really made you feel like that, because I feel like that kind of connects to like being non-judgmental of yourself, is realizing that other people can fail too and you're all just people.
I mean like when we went out to lunch and kind of since then we've had like some conversations that aren't as focused on work. Well, I guess even at lunch, people were telling like funny stories from like their work history, and some of them were like times when they screwed up. You know what I mean? And like they were laughing about it, and I don't know. I just kind of realized like I guess it's okay to like screw up from time to time, and I don't know, like I don't feel like I could have the same reaction as they had like right now. Like that's kind of where I want to get. But yeah, I guess it just showed me like shit happens, right? Um, yeah, and then I've just seen a couple times, like I've noticed a couple times, like since then, as I've kind of been thinking about it, like people have made, like my coworkers have made like some mistakes, and it's just like you kind of correct it and move on, and the world doesn't end, and I don't know, it's like a different. I think I'm beginning to realize like it's a totally different environment and like set of expectations than school was. Because like school, everything was like quantified, and you got like one shot, right? So like you take a test, and if you get like an 84, um, then you know you're stuck with that. And um, like at work, if you do like the equivalent of an 84 and it needs to be like a 99, then you just like keep working on it until like you get it up to a 99 or whatever.
Right.
And like I feel like there are very few things that are like graded, right? Like it's just like do a good job and like get things done. And there are some things where like the stakes are really high and like you need to be like on your game and stuff. But yeah, I think like the like school is just like this constant environment of judgment. Like that's all school is. I feel like I mean you're just trying to get grades to like pass or excel or set yourself up for something, whatever's coming next. And grades are just like a form of judgment, right? Like a really formal form of judgment. And there's like this artificial like perfection, which is 100%, right? And it's just different.
Yeah.
In the real world, I guess.
For sure.
So
how can we set a goal for being comfortable with failure?
I don't know.
It's kind of a hard one.
Maybe like maybe I can like purposely fail at some like really small stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like where the stakes are kind of low.
Yeah.
And then just kind of maybe that will help me like practice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like I can't be like, all right, I'm gonna fail at this super important like project at work and practice accepting failure. But maybe some things that like I might have control over. And that it doesn't really matter if I fail. Like I could try that. I just don't know exactly what those would be.
Maybe the goal for accepting failure is more of a like trying to change your mindset about it. Like maybe like when you catch yourself feeling like stressed and anxious about failing, kind of like talk to yourself and be like, it's okay, like everything's gonna work out. Everyone fails sometimes, like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just don't know like if it'll work.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. You won't really know till you try.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. So maybe just like noticing to start out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you think of like little tasks, like you said, you could start trying those too.
Yeah.
See what happens.
I could run a 5K since I'm really out of shape and like walk half the way. just fail miserably
Say
and
it's
just
okay.
and cross the finish line with my arms up.
I like that. So, being more confident or finding confidence, what was the goal for that one?
Like I think like practice and preparation and maybe getting like some feedback from other people.
This one, either trying to change your mindset about failure or finding little things that you can fail at.
Yeah.
Do you have any other goals you want to try and set? Maybe one about like the purpose you talked about, or meaning, or like connections.
Yeah. Maybe let's go to like the connections next.
Okay.
So I feel like like hanging out with Hannah is a good thing, like a good action, I guess.
Yeah.
On that front.
For sure.
I think like I can just continue to at work. Like I don't know if those are kind of like out of work friends, or like if there's a potential for that. Like I feel like there might not be just because like we're all at such different stages of our life, but maybe just continuing to try to like cultivate those friendships and connections and like go to lunch and like there's like a big pond out behind our building and people like go for walks there and like we could like go for a walk in the afternoon and stuff like that.
For sure.
So maybe like initiating some of that.
Okay. Do you feel comfortable doing that?
Yeah, I think so. Just having seen like other people do it, like I feel like that's something that wouldn't be like I don't know frowned upon or like judged.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I don't know, like I feel like maybe like the volunteering stuff would be potentially a good way to make some connections.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Yeah, like I know there's like I don't know meetup stuff and like kind of weird random groups. I feel like that might be a little like not my thing, but like doing something that I feel like has a purpose and like I'm there maybe to like do something else. And then like as a side effect I might like meet some people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like continuing to like work on connection with my coworkers, volunteering. Is that it?
Those are the ones we touched on. You also mentioned earlier maybe connecting back with your spirituality, religion, and whatnot. I know also, like if you were to look into that and find like a church or something or a group, I know that they also do a lot of volunteering stuff.
Yeah.
And trips and I mean that's kind of a big step, but that could also come into making connections and finding like purpose and meaning and whatnot.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like I think they like a lot of churches do like groups and stuff for like different ages and like different interests and yeah, maybe that would probably be like a good thing to do for on like both fronts, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, like exploring kind of some purpose and meaning stuff and then also connecting with people.
Yeah, outside of work.
Yeah, have some like similar beliefs and values.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe like I don't know, like checking out some church services or something like that. And seeing what that's like.
I remembered in some of our other sessions too. You mentioned, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought you mentioned you like to exercise.
Yeah, I do. That's a good idea to get back into that. I think that's a pretty easy one, right?
Yeah.
Like it's in, I mean, at least simple, right? Like it just relies on me. And I don't know, I just got out of the habit and I just need to make it a priority and yeah,
Yeah,
do
my
that more
thought
frequently.
process for that one was also making more connections. I mean,
Mm,
I don't know how easy it is to like meet people at a gym, but I know
yeah,
like if you join a gym, they also do events like here and
yeah,
there.
yeah,
That's just another idea.
yeah. Maybe there's like a group class or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay, so we're kind of going over like 3 or 4 goals. Do you feel good and like confident in those? Do you feel like they're attainable, or what are you thinking? What are your thoughts about the goals that we've kind of set?
Yeah, I think they seem pretty realistic and like important for like the things that I've kind of been struggling with.
Mhm.
Um, and I think, yeah, they're not like massive, right? So I think they can kind of like build on themselves and like, so I don't know. I mean, it's like more than I've done in the last 3 months. So
Mhm.
like it's a lot, but I mean, it feels good to like think about doing something different than what I've been doing to try to get to a better place.
Yeah.
So it's kind of exciting, and I guess it doesn't feel like like too overwhelming. Um, I feel like with a few goals, like maybe some of them won't work out, but one or two probably will.
Yeah. And don't feel like you have to like do all these goals like right away.
Yeah,
Like you can work on one at a time or multiple, or you can start working on one and stop and work on the other. It's really
yeah,
like up to you and whatever you feel comfortable with and feel comfortable doing.
yeah,
They're more, it's not, I don't want to like say it's like a homework necessarily. It's more just like for you, you know?
yeah.
It's all just like for you. So you can go at it like any way you want to go at it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. I wanted to talk also about maybe some like different self care activities
Mm,
that you can do. Um, because like goals can kind of be seen as like work maybe,
mm,
and so let's kind of review. I know we talked about some things you like to do in our previous sessions. Let's review those again
mm.
and kind of see how we can work with those.
Yeah. So I think I remember what I said, but I also like just know what I like to do, so I don't have to remember exactly what I said. So like reading, really like I used to read so much, and then like in college I didn't just like read for pleasure as much because I was just so busy and like just like drinking with my friends and stuff like that. So there weren't like any book clubs. I like being outdoors and hunting. I did some like fishing back home too, more hunting than fishing, but and then writing like I don't know. I um, feel like I'm a creative person and I like being creative, but I like haven't had any outlets for that for a long time.
Okay.
So like I feel like writing might be one of those, and then I don't think I mentioned this, but like I kind of like dabbled with the guitar a little bit when I was younger, and I don't know, I really enjoyed that, but like I was never really good.
Okay.
So I don't know. I mean, I feel like I want to have like some sort of like creative outlet, some place to like be creative, and maybe like writing or music would be that.
Yeah.
So.
I'm curious, like I know that those are things that you like to do, but have you ever like when you've been down or like in a bad headspace or a negative headspace, have you ever done like those activities to get yourself out of it? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like have you ever used those as like self-care
Yeah.
activities?
I think sometimes, not a lot. Like, I mean, I've gone on a couple hikes here, like when I felt pretty down, and that seemed to help. Um, but yeah, mostly I've just like tried to find some show to watch on Netflix and like numb myself.
Mm-hmm.
So.
That was my next question is, if you have, has it helped?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the few times that I've done some of that, like, it's helped. It's kind of like this weird combination of like it's with a lot of that stuff, like it's hard to. I mean, it's a distraction, but it's also like I have to kind of like be with myself in those activities, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's like this kind of like combination of it's something that I like to do and that it's good, but at the same time, like it forces me to kind of like process what I'm feeling, which is kind of uncomfortable. So, but probably good too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're in kind of that space now where you can kind of push yourself to do those self-care activities?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I was kind of like I was feeling like really fragile for quite a while up until like the last few days. So, um, it just felt like I was just like really apprehensive to like engage in anything that would make me kind of like go deeper with some of my like feelings and thoughts and so I feel like maybe I can do that now.
And there's no pressure or anything at all.
Yeah.
Just maybe if it comes to mind, try it out if you feel comfortable.
Okay.
Do you have anything else you want to talk about with goals or self-care?
I don't know. Does it work?
It can, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
believe that it can.
I guess I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I'm a little, like, I'm hopeful, but I'm also like a little scared too. So I guess we'll just see what happens.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
I think I'd like you to just like try them out, try and take some steps towards a goal or check off a goal, and maybe try some self-care activities. And then if it doesn't work, then there's other things we can do too.
Yeah. I have a question. So, like, let's say, like, Hannah and I hit it off, and I don't know, like, there's the potential for something more. I don't know, like, feels like if that were to happen quickly, like, it would be really soon, like, following, like, me and Amy breaking up, and I don't know. I feel like maybe like too soon. Like I don't know what the right approach would be with that.
Okay.
Or like, does what I'm saying make sense?
Yeah.
So
what makes you feel like that's too soon? Like, is it just like, what's your thought process about that? Is it just like
yeah,
society's like, that's what you've been told? Have you had an experience like that before? Do you know someone who's moved on really fast? Where is that stemming from? Like, where are those feelings stemming from?
I mean, I think a few different places. So like, there's a whole like rebound concept, which is does not have like a positive association
Right,
with it.
right.
I think though, like, I don't know. I would, I still have feelings for Amy, and I feel like they're going to be there for like a while. And I just don't know if that means like I shouldn't like pursue anything with anybody else. And I guess the reason like I feel like maybe it could be too soon is if the roles were reversed, like I might feel kind of uncomfortable with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
No one can really tell you when the right time is for a relationship or for really anything. It's really, in my opinion, up to you and how you're feeling and what you're thinking about the situation, you know? Does that make you uncomfortable thinking, like, if you guys do hit it off and it does happen, does that scare you? Or what feelings does that bring up?
Like, does it scare me in general, or does it scare me like with regard to like maybe still having feelings about Amy?
I guess, yeah, does it scare you that you might start a new relationship so fast while still having feelings for Amy as well?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it scares the shit out of me in general. Like, I think we talked about this before, like just like being with somebody else and like the possibility, like them not knowing me, and just having to like go through all that bullshit before like just like comfortable with each other. But I think what would scare me, and I think I have the answer, but I need to probably like think about it a little bit more. What would scare me is if I so let me think of how to say this. Like, let's just say for example, like Hannah and I started like hanging out and like dating or whatever, and like Amy called me and was like, "Hey, I want to get back together. Like I was wrong and blah blah blah, and like I'm gonna fly out there this weekend and we can talk about this." And what would scare me is if I wasn't able to say like no, like I'm done. I feel like that would be unfair to somebody else. I think I could say that, but I might need to dig a little deeper to figure that out for sure.
Have you still been in contact with Amy at all?
Basically like right up until I messaged Hannah, and then that was like a big change in my mindset. So I haven't talked to her since then. It's only been like 3 days. But yeah, I mean, I was still kind of like reaching out to see if there was like anything left or whatever. It's kind of, I think I said last time, like it's kind of like this cycle of like one or the other of us like reaching out and kind of like testing the waters a little bit. But I haven't talked to her since I reached out to Hannah. So
Okay. You said it changed your mindset. How did it change your mindset?
Mm, I think it made me feel like this is gonna sound like weird, but like I think it made me feel like Amy wasn't the only option, right? And I don't mean it like that, kind of like calculatingly, but I don't know. I just felt kind of like trapped before that, and it just kind of like broadened my perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a normal feeling. Like with everything else that you were feeling too, you were feeling really alone and like you didn't really have any other connections, and she was kind of like your like lifeline in a sense, you know, like because you would talk to her about how you were feeling and whatnot, and then that was kind of like taken away, you know, like you guys broke up, but then you still kind of talked, so she was still kind of there. So I think that makes sense to feel like she was like your only option, and then once you kind of got out of that headspace and messaged Hannah, it kind of made you realize like, oh, like I can make these other connections. Is that true?
Yeah, and like Hannah was like cool about it, right? So she was like, yeah, like let's do that, and I don't know. I guess it just, yeah, made me feel like there are other people in the world who can like me. I guess you know what I mean? Yeah.
So, are you like nervous to go on this like little hangout? Like excited? Like, what are your feelings about that?
I mean, I think both. Yeah, it's exciting. I just like, um, I think we talked last time about how like me feeling less confident in like certain areas of my life has made me just feel like kind of less confident in general. So I guess there's just like some fear about like being boring or like weird, you know what I mean? I don't know, especially like, I mean, Amy just broke up with me, right? So like clearly I wasn't like, there were parts of me that weren't good enough for her, like something didn't like fit for her. And so, yeah, it's just kind of like scary to think of being rejected again so soon.
Are you feeling like, are you feeling, here's what I'm kind of thinking in my mind. I'm feeling like you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself for this like hangout. I feel like you're putting a lot of, do you feel like you're putting pressure on yourself for it to make it into like, what if it turns into a relationship? Like, what if this happens? What if this happens? You know? Do you feel like that? Because, I mean, you said you guys are acquaintances, right? Is there a way that you can, or I'm trying to think of how to put this. I don't want you to feel pressure about it, you know? I want you to be able to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because it's like your first, not first, but it's like you seemed excited about it, and it's like something like new and a new connection, which is what you've been looking for. I just want you to like enjoy it, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm just trying. Do you think that if, like you were going to hang out with like let's say like one of your friends that was a girl from your town, moved across, you knew her really well, you were friends. Would that same pressure be applied to like your hangout as opposed to like you don't really know Hannah that well? So that was different than how I thought it would go.
Yeah.
Yeah, because after we talked about like self care and stuff, I was gonna try and like wrap it